Today I'm going to be doing the Clay Clan Challenge number 4, and that challenge is the Unconventional Tool Challenge, and I'm going to be throwing with a GBA cartridge, as well as PCB I took out of a bootleg cartridge. How do you know it's bootleg? Because it says Nintendo, which you'd have to reverse it to see that, but anyways. If you're watching this, check out the other potters tagged in this video, because they're doing cool things as well. Well, hello, Calypso. So Calypso is my hubby, and the brains behind our business, Pocket Pulp. We make GBA games, so games for the Game Boy Advance, and that's why I'm throwing with a Game Boy Advance cartridge. Because we have a lot of them laying around. So we just released a new game called Crypt Sweeper, and it's a play on Minesweeper. So that's part of the reason why I'm also throwing, is I'm actually supposed to be doing marketing for that game right now, but instead I'm doing pottery. So I thought I could kill two birds with one stone. If you like games for the Game Boy Advance, there's a link in this video description to where you can find all our games. We do both physical and digital releases. And the carts I'm using today are from when we first started. We used carts from AliExpress, and that was a lot of work to make them work, a lot of work to vet them. And now our new games are made with carts from Inside Gadgets out of Australia. Big boy said hi. Plan for this cart is to use it like a rib, and we're not supposed to use anything but the unconventional tool. That's the challenge anyway. So I'll be using it to next air bubble probably. So I'm going to use the PCB is popping air bubbles. I mean, as a, I'm sorry, got distracted. As a sharp tool. And then the shell I'll be using as a rib. Why do we start making games for the GBA? Because why not? If you're gonna make something you want to make. That makes you happy. Maybe a little deep. Passerby, you didn't know people did GBA dev? Yeah. In fact, there's a whole community, man. Or person, passerby. I'm trying to learn not to say man anymore. Yeah, it's actually a really great community. If you go to gba.net, there's really great resources there. Great people there. Super supportive, super welcoming. And it's fun. Yeah, there's game jams and everything for the GBA. Hey, Sharukin, I see you all the time in Pottery Demon. Pottery Demon streams. My name in the chat probably comes up as learning to throw pots, though. So what's going on today is I'm a part of a group of potters that we all met through YouTube, and we've been doing these challenges for fun. This is the 4th challenge, and it is throwing with an unconventional tool. So we're only allowed to use one unconventional tool, and I am using a Game Boy Advance cartridge because my husband and I make games for the Game Boy Advance, and we just released our 2nd physical game. We've got more digital available on our itch page. This pot is definitely wonky, but that's okay. Yeah, Pottery Demon's actually the person that got me into streaming. When I first started, I just loaded videos because I'm just recording my journey with pottery. It's not really like a entertainment focused thing. And he suggested that I stream as a quicker way to load my videos. And so I started streaming, and it's like way better. One, I don't have to use memory on my phone. Videos are pretty much just instantly uploaded. And 2, I get to meet awesome people. And they come by and they say hi. And that's how I met all these cool potters. I don't really have a plan for this, what I'm making. I just kind of like throw a cylinder and then go from there. I'll toss whatever this is, most likely. I need to be making cups. But that's my next project. Actually, no, dog dish is actually my next project. But I am behind in my clay clan challenges. Ooh, look at that wobble, look at that wobble. I have to look and see what our next challenge is. It may be something crazy like not using water, which I'm not looking forward to. Cuparino? Cuparino, maybe. Shuriken Zone, what do you make? What's your channel? Is it pottery as well? I know that you have a lot of pottery knowledge. I remember seeing you talk a lot of pottery knowledge. All right, I'm going to break out that tool. All right, so I think I'm gonna try this side. We'll see. The Minish Cap, you can't see it because I just got clay on it. That's the game I chose. It's a bootleg, so anybody's like, ah, don't race the cart. It's a bootleg. It's okay. The Minish Cap is my favorite GBA game. But I am partial to Zelda. Link to the Past is probably my all-time favorite game. Alright, wish me luck. This is not going to go well. Okay. Woo! Oh, okay, that's cool. In danger of extinction. I'm gonna check out your channel. You know, it's amazing in the digital age today that anything is in risk of being extinct, but it's true, like any kind of knowledge. All right, so I'm going to use the, you can't read it, but it says Nintendo, the PCB as a foot tool, potter's knife. These things are pretty sharp. The plastic, I learned that the hard way. We were launching our game. This thing does not want to cut this stuff off. There we go. A little bit better. What does this person say? Vomit emojis with a llama. Yeah. downside is this has got like little bits that are not, it's not like flat all over. Oh, interesting. Shuriken says that is a cool challenge. Do some friendly challenges out in the community. Knife throwing. Blade throwing, man. That's nuts. Sounds dangerous. Lost art. Knife throwing. Ooh, this does have some neat edges in it. Yeah, we should get Pottery Demon to join this. And we're also, just so you know, we're like inviting anybody to do it. If you have any kind of, you know, like you could throw with some unconventional sharp objects. All right, so I need to do a little bit more, maybe some decorating. I was thinking about using this side to see if I could like stamp in some decorations. Alrighty, kind of. How did I put it? Put it near the top. Normally I would do this when the clay isn't wet, but you know, this is a challenge. And I'm not going to keep this piece. Yeah. Hasn't caused you to leak significantly? Leak blood. So I'm imagining that you're throwing at targets and not like people. I'm kind of curious now if I like stretch it out after this, what would happen? These are not like very even. Oh, not today. Hey, Barbie. Always at targets. Targets that are not people. Wasn't it there? Who said Shuriken? I think that's what they said. in Street Fighter. Am I making things up? Sharukin. But he threw like a blue ball. Interesting. Don't know what I expected, but that's not what I expected. And I can feel those cutouts on the inside, or the stamps. I don't know. It's a little GBA cart thing. See? Yeah. Thanks. What I did, Barbie, was I used my little GBA cart and I stamped it in there, and then I stretched it out. So let's cut this baby open. Yep. So definitely we're see where the walls got thin towards here when I started pushing back in, like right here. But this is all pretty good. I'm actually really happy with the base, even though I just now realized I forgot to compress it. Well, it was. Well, it wasn't made that well. I knew that I had issues, and if I don't fire it, I don't know. I'm picky about what I fire. I didn't fire anything for my first year. And then I finally moved somewhere where there's sorry for the terrible sound. Ooh. And then I finally moved somewhere where there was a studio, and then I fired a bunch of stuff. Not a ton, but like 10 or so pieces. And now I don't like those pieces so much because my skills are improved. And now they just sit in a corner doing nothing. It just seems wasteful. So for me, these are all my choices. Different strokes for different folks, and yeah, so I don't fire a lot of what I make. In fact, I'm trying to make myself fire more, because what I learned, the downside of what I'm doing, is that you don't get any good glazing experience, and glazing is more complicated than just slapping paint on a pot, and I'm learning that. All right, let's do, how much time do I have? 20 minutes? I got time to know. I gotta take my niece to art class today. Let's see what else I can do with this thing. I didn't actually use it I meant to use it to compress the bottom, and I didn't. So I'll need to do that this time. And I need my rag. Dry hands, don't need it. Oof. All right, round 2. Carving spoons. Carving spoons is something the algorithm tried very hard to get me into, and it was very interesting. All of a sudden, randomly, I was getting all these like targets or all these targeted ads at me for carving spoons. And I'm like, what's the deal with the carving spoons, man? I was like, do you use the spoons? And now I'm learning there is a whole community of spoon carvers. I thought briefly that would be something I'd get into, but I don't need to be around sharp objects. It's just not a good idea. Like carving and stuff, I very briefly was like, ooh, I want to do this. And then I did it like one project and I was like, no, I don't need to be doing this. I will be losing a finger if I do this. Or at least be having some, you know, serious injuries. Wait, what? How do you use an axe to carve a spoon? Ooh, that was like way off. That doesn't seem right. How big is the spoon if you're using an axe? Is it like a man-sized spoon? Shuriken, you're gonna have to like give more info, because unless you like go cut, do you like? Alright, so use the axe to get the chunk out. So like, how big are these spoons? Speed up. Are these like the decorative spoons that you see on like restaurant walls? So you start with a gigantic piece of wood and then you carve it down to the size of like an eating spoon, a tablespoon. Do you have a video of yourself carving a spoon? Because I feel like I'm going to need a visual aid for this. Yeah, please do. I love seeing random stuff that people do. I'm a big fan of things that are done just for the hell of it. Natalie says hello. Actually, Natalie says hi. And I will say hello back to you, Natalie. Natalie, I am participating in a challenge from a group of potters. Not going so well. Where we are trying to throw pots with an unconventional tool of our choice. Mine is a GBA cart. And I chose a GBA cart because I make games with my husband for the Game Boy Advance. That I'm using this clay for this because it's nice clay. It's being very friendly today. And do one more cone. This is like the last of my usable clay, and then I'm gonna have to do some reclaim, which takes a minute. So I may actually save the last 2 bottles for the next week. Oh god, yeah, this next challenge, whichever that is. So this will probably be my last pot. Well, I can re-reg up this stuff. We'll see. I'll probably still save it. This clay is super friendly. It just says, make me into something, Casey. Well, I'm trying, little clay. I'm trying. Maybe I will save you if you're... What are we going to be? We're going to be a plant pot? Maybe? Yes, this is the same clay I've been using for my other projects. I finally fired some, but I glazed it all, so it comes out fired this really pretty espresso color. The clay type is Kentucky Mudworks Brown Bear. It's actually something I probably wouldn't have ever picked up myself, but the studio where I fire my things, she had it, and I could buy clay from her rather than driving 2.5 hours to the clay store. And so I took what she had, and then I was like, I love this stuff. Actually, I hated it at first, but now I love it. And I'm trying to think of what I want to throw with the last of it I have. Something that I can leave raw to like really show the color it comes out. Alright, I'm gonna actually use this as to compress the bottom now. Yeah, every time I do, like, my last project I did was for my mom, and I know that she likes color and shiny and stuff like that, so... Alright, so I'm compressing the bottom with it now. That's what I meant to do last time. So that was for her, so I want to make something, you know, that she would like. But I find glazing intimidating and overwhelming. And I really like the sensation or the feel of unglazed pottery. It scratches an itch in my brain for me. I have a couple bells I need to finish actually. They're fired, I just need to string them up and make a dongly thing for them, whatever those things are, clapper. And those are raw. My favorite thing to make is plant pots, which don't need to be glazed anyway. Like that's my shtick, that's my favorite thing to make. Because my reasoning is, there's somebody who always needs a plant pot. So I feel like my pots can always have a life. And like, the plant pot, you know, isn't the most important thing, it's the plant itself. So even if they come out ugly and stuff, you know, they're fun. And plus there's also some sentimental things about plant pots and me and my mom and my sister. What's a kiyusu? Barbie, yeah, for your question was, can you, if you fire unglazed, is it still functional and sturdy to say? Yeah, absolutely. As long as it's fired to the point, well, I'm learning stuff. So anyway, yeah, if it's fired to the right temperature, it's going to be strong. And sometimes unglazed is better for plants, depending on the plant. And Ben Wolf can probably speak way more on, Ben Wolf can speak way more on this than me. But an unglazed pot, if it's not fired to vitrification, I believe, but will absorb some of the moisture, which can help prevent plants from getting root rot. The one downside of that, you know, so like terracotta plants or terracotta pots, that's why they are the way they are, is to help absorb moisture out. But the one downside is if you keep them outside and you live somewhere where it freezes, they can explode. Not explode, but break if the water gets trapped in it. But yeah, it's totally cool. It's totally fine. Yes, passerby, the sound of raw clay. That's why I've got some bells that I need to finish. I need to hang them up, but they're out of raw clay. It's a Japanese teapot, you know? Not passerby, but Shuriken Zone. I'm a tea drinker, and I've just recently started getting into nicer teas. So I just finished my first Duckshit tea. I don't know if you've had it, but Duckshit tea. I also recently got a kettle that brews to certain temperatures and blew my mind. I was like, oh, so this is what green tea is supposed to taste like when I tried it with like a lower temp water. So I want to build myself up to making a teapot because I don't actually own a proper teapot despite being a tea drinker. But I kind of like, because I do pottery, I'm like, I just need to make my own teapot. I'm not going to buy a teapot. And so I will continue probably using my French press for the next 3 years until I get around to making a teapot. But I want to make a gong fu set for like drinking grandpa style, I guess. I think that's what it's called. I'm probably like butchering all this stuff. But where I can just brew per cup. And that has like a little strainer on it in the cup. Okay, yeah. All right, Shuriken Zone, I'm totally following you after all this. Yeah, I also just recently got into, all right, and I don't know how to pronounce it properly, but pu'er, the fermented tea, aged fermented. Oh my god, that stuff is so good. It's so good. So good. I don't like the raw pu'er, but the aged, no, the ripe, I don't remember what they call it. You got one that's aged and one that's not aged. I like the aged stuff. That stuff's good. It's like super earthy and yeah. My sister actually said in the town where she works, she lives in the same type place as me, but she has to go to the town over to work. She works on the base, and she said that they have a tea shop over there. So I need to go over there and check and see what kind of teas they have. Oh, yeah. Okay, so grandpa style, because people who do grandpa style, they sift them through their teeth. So gong fu is not grandpa. Okay. See, thank you. I knew I had stuff wrong. I do gong fu because I brew my tea over and over again, partly because I'm cheap and tea can be expensive. In fact, I brewed the last of my pu'er today. And that makes me sad because I don't know when I'll be able to get it again. I bought one locally, but I know it's not going to be as good. Not locally, but it's like stateside. The duck shit was worth it, and I don't even think I had like a super high quality duck shit. It was like I got it from Y2T, so the letter W. I'm sorry, the letter W, the letter Y, the number 2, and then T. That's where I got from my pu'er as well, pu'er, however you say it. And they have these like little, you can buy samples of theirs, so you could buy like these little balls of the tea. And when it came in, Mr. Cobra Laserface, he said it looked like I had a drug order come in because there were all these like little balls in plastic, you know, wrapped up in plastic bags, and I had like a dozen of them on my table. But it was fun. Ooh. Just go this thing. See, I have such tiny little fingers. I run into issues sometimes. And by tiny, I mean short, not thin. It's like I got the hands of a child, but the digits of a hobbit. I missed that. I saw the email for the free shipping, and I freaking didn't act in time. I was on there today actually, like looking at everything, like planning out what I was going to buy next time. Because it was really good. I tried their lumberjack. I think it's like, no, the Love Lumberjack or something. That one was really good. And there was another one. God, it was good. And I was stupid. I didn't save the little paper that it comes in. Now I have to go through them again. It wasn't Fifth Wave. It was an aged one. All right. I got a lot of clay down here. Let's pull this up. This clay is in such good shape, man. It's like, I'm definitely gonna save those balls and make something, maybe some cups or something, because this clay is just, I'm loving the state that it's in. Yeah! Dude, you should totally post some reviews of the teas from there. Let me like, so I can live vicariously through you. Like, I don't have a, I wouldn't say I have a refined palate. I'm not gonna be able to be like, oh, there's notes of oak and plum in here. But I can say, oh, that was good or that wasn't good. Some of them, not so much. Like, I had one, I think it was like aged in charcoal or something. You could definitely taste it. Now, I say that, the first time I had it, I was like, oh, this is like straight up charcoal. But the more I drank it, because I was doing the gong fu, it did get better. And by like the third or fourth brew, I was like, ooh, this is pretty tasty. But that charcoal was strong in the beginning. Lumber stuff. Lumber slut. That's what it was. I have to say, their marketing is pretty good. I'm a sucker for good marketing. All right, let's try this again. Let's get a little slipped up. We're gonna expand this out now. That's so funny. It's always nice to run into people with similar interests. All right, what are we gonna do next? We're gonna use these things in a more of a manner. All right, I want to try to do like a spiral cut out with this. I think I'm gonna slice it and then pull it out. Turtle dove. All right, I'm gonna have to go through my chat later and like remember that turtle dove. Let's go slow. So I'm gonna try to, yeah. Let's first scrape some of this slip off. Yeah, I was gonna go in and order some like a disc of lumber slut, but then I get suckered into like, I was like, oh, I could order a disc of lumber slut, or I could, or a coin, or whatever they're called, or I could get a bunch of more samples. Oh, I didn't think I had. All right, now I shall stretch. I did try the waffles, it was good. That was another one. I like white tea. Downside is I only drink it in the morning because if I drink caffeine in the afternoon, I just won't sleep. Which like kind of sucks because I do like a stronger tea in the morning. But some days not so much. That's kind of cool, right? We may actually keep this. Never mind. Took a chunk out of it with my nail. All right, try to do some more. Yeah, the waffles was delicious. I don't want to pull more out. That's kind of cool. Maybe I can cut the foot off without messing it up. I'll bring the camera closer so you guys can see. Oof. Oh, I suppose I should stop spinning it. It's kind of neat, right? I'm thinking, sorry, not to give you just a view of my head. Ooh. Maybe I'll reward myself today with some... I feel like I need to keep this. The Pottery studio I'm doing is going to be doing like this glazing challenge. Not glazing challenge, but like a glazing party. This one's a lot of fun. And it's a bit sentimental because I did make it with a GBA cart. I'm not cutting it off with a GBA cart though, because that's just not going to go well. We'll cut it off with a wire. When I find it. Where'd my wire go? There it is. Turtle dove, turtle dove, turtle dove. Texture, says passerby. Yes. This would be fun to put some kind of glaze on, right? Maybe not. Just leave it raw. Dee-da-dee-da! Not too bad. Cut a hole in the bottom, put a little plant in it. Maybe something a little drippy on it. We'll see. Or maybe I will let it dry, then I will throw it in with the reclaim. That is something I sometimes do. That is what I did with my little kiln idols. passerby. Raw would be your choice. Maybe I'll do maybe I'll just leave it raw. Dude, trimming feet is my favorite. And no, that's not out of context. I like making feet jokes too. It was a little weird having people ask to see feet though. That was a internet thing getting used to. But yeah, I'll trim a foot on that. And maybe I will leave it raw. And put a little plant in it. Well, I appreciate everyone coming out and hanging out. Sorry this is a short stream, but I need to get cleaned up and take my little niece to her drawing class. Definitely check out the other potters tagged in this video. Some people are doing some really cool stuff, gotten really creative. And yeah, catch you on the flip side. I don't remember what the next challenge is. Could be not throwing without water. It could be throwing at top speed. I know these are all challenges that we're doing. So yeah, cool beans. And I'll be on more frequently now too, because I had to take a little break because we were getting ready for a conference for the Game Jam games, or the GBA games. But the weather's been absolutely gorgeous, so I'm gonna have to be out here more. Super pretty. All right. Thank y'all. Man, Shuriken, I'm totally gonna check out your channel after this. You have an awesome one. Take care, passerby. Thank you for coming by with your eyeball. Barbie, if you're still there, thanks. All right, you guys are awesome. Talk to y'all later. Shuriken.